So I am excited today to introduce a guest. I'm not doing Hollywood headlines, but we are with a guest, and I wanted to introduce to you the founder of the Light Leaks and filmmaker, Kim Hoyos. So hi, Kim.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being on Angelica Any Time and giving me your time to be here. Let's start off with the Light Leaks. You started that especially right after I met you when you were 20. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, so the Light Leaks is essentially an online community and editorial platform for rising women and non-binary filmmakers. So I started it back when I was 20, when I was a junior in college, because I wasn't finding much community online or off where I could really connect with other filmmakers and show my work or see what other people were doing and really feel supported in my identity.
And did you ever expect it to get this big?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a really interesting ride to start off thinking I want to make a website to talk about representation in media, and I want to figure out how to use my skills in social media to do good, and seeing that kind of come together as my skills have grown in my own career. I feel like the Light Leaks has always been an awesome parallel, that whatever full-time job I had at the moment, or if I was in school and interning or whatever my life looked like, I was always able to bring those skills from those parts of my life into the Light Leaks. And, you know, as I learned about event planning, then I started to do events with the Light Leaks. As I started to learn about e-commerce, then I brought that into my small business. So it's definitely been a lot of learning and bringing that in different ways, and being able to see it grow has been awesome. I mean, folks have been able to connect at our events pre-pandemic in person, and then go on to get fellowships or just like connect with each other and start formal crews. Or, you know, a lot of people reach out and send us just like descriptions of actors or crew members they need. So then we're able to post that, and then, you know, people are able to go to a trusted set, since that's always a very difficult thing as a young woman or non-binary person, to find places that are safe to work as well. So the Light Leaks has really taken on a life of its own, where I feel like because young filmmakers needed something like this, when they found it, they've really known how to make it their own, and then almost kind of mold us and guide, you know, myself and now my volunteer team that's working on it.
Wow, it's really inspiring. I will say I enjoy reading these stories. You know, it is a forum that I've seen you really start up, and I think it does serve its purpose. So with that, tell me a little bit of the jobs you've had, your background.
Yeah, so I worked a lot when I was an undergrad in school. I went to Rutgers University, and I was a journalism and media studies major. At the time, we didn't have a film major, so it was the next best thing. So a lot of my background ended up being in video production, in filmmaking, but just because I was like taking on a lot of freelance work. So in the past, I've done freelance shoots for Nike, for Spotify, Millennials of New York. I've done, you know, a lot of headshots for folks like at BuzzFeed, at the Times. You know, being so close to New York as someone who lives in New Jersey, I've just always had kind of direct access to take the bus in to have these opportunities. So then throughout college, I interned at MTV, Late Night Seth Meyers, The Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon, where I met you, of course. And then, you know, post-grad, I worked at MTV. I took on some other contracts as well. And yeah, I've really kind of taken on anything that's in social production and content.
Social media is a big part in how we tend to network. How have you been very resourceful with that? I think that's something you really honed in on. How would you advise someone else who wants to kind of follow in your footsteps, per se?
Yeah, so I think the best thing anyone could do if they want to be able to show like more about their work on social media and do that in an organic way is to really choose moments that you feel like reflect you. I tend to show a lot of like behind the scenes shots of like unfinished videos or like an unfinished shoot, or things that are in the process, like on my stories, so that it's not always like a highlight reel of like the latest, greatest thing, and you don't really fall into a social media creation trap. So I really recommend that for creators, just to share things that aren't necessarily super ready. You know, that way you can just like, you know, get over it and get over that fear of posting. And I think with personal branding, the sooner that anyone, I think if you accept and you know, okay, if I have an Instagram and someone Googles me for a job, that's my brand. You know, if you're able to just like post here and there about your job, maybe a new article that you've written or something that you've created. I think that's always great because it's another way that shows that you're caring about what you're making and you're proud to share it with others.
You have been featured in many things, many articles about you and the Light Leaks. Your latest one is People en Español. And I have to say, it's like meant to be because I'm excited. Just because I have seen you work so hard. It has really been inspiring to see you from being some interns that ran around Rockefeller for Milk Bar or things like that to now see you in the same magazine as my husband, William Levy. It's meant to be.
Yeah.
Tell me about how that came to be. I mean, this is big. It's People magazine in Español.
Yes, it is huge. It feels amazing. I'm very excited. My family's very excited. We've bought, I feel like, every copy in New Jersey, which will be mailed in a box to Colombia this weekend probably. But yeah, I mean, it's insane. People Chica, they're awesome. People Chica is essentially the brand that's under People en Español for millennial Latinas. They've done a couple takeover. They've let me do a couple of takeovers with them for the Light Leaks to just share about my work. They've also covered some events before, included us in some roundups. And I think they've just grown to be a fan of, the mission of representation in media. So when this opportunity came up to profile like Chica Jefas, they decided to include me, and I'm very grateful for that. And, it's a very good thing for the Light Leaks as well. Hopefully it's able to share our mission a little further. Right now, as I mentioned before, like our team is entirely volunteer, and, we're working on getting it to a place where we're able to all, have this be our full-time job. And my dream is to make it a production company. So when things like this happen, it really feels like one step closer to that.
Yeah, and it looks that way too. So congrats on that, and congrats on all your other publications that you've been on. I'm sure Colombia will be very happy to receive those boxes. And as you did mention Colombia, you're Latina. How has that been, being Latina? Obviously proud, but has there ever been a time where you kind of wavered in identity with culture? Or has it always been kind of ingrained to own who you are?
Yeah, I was definitely always taught to be proud of who I was. I just don't think I understood what that was, at least when I was younger. I mean, I live right now in a very predominantly like white New Jersey suburb. So I don't really feel like I had much connection aside from like my family, honestly, to my culture. And then when I was able to go to college and make new friends and make more like Latinx friends, that's when I feel like I was able to really embrace my culture more and like understand more the nuances. I feel like between even countries, understand and identify different food and like just really explore. So I feel like after that point, I don't feel like I've ever wavered, but I wouldn't call it before that wavering, but more so like I was a kid and needed to understand identity. And when that kind of happened and when I embraced that more, I think it's just been a beautiful journey since, and something that I also am actively working on as well, because I feel like there's plenty of ways that we can all, embrace our culture more and learn more as well.
You had mentioned Latinx. I got this question literally maybe 2 days ago at work. Who better person to explain that than you?
Yes.
What is Latinx?
Yeah, totally. So essentially, like, it's said a couple different ways. Some people say Latinx, some people say Latinx, but really it's meant to be a gender inclusive term instead of Latino or Latina. I mean, to really look at gender as like a binary is like limiting to folks who are trans or non-binary or gender non-conforming. So it's just a more inclusive term.
So you have a bunch of things on your plate. What is
next? So I think what's next is me really focusing on the Light Leaks. COVID has given me like a whole new just availability to work from home like it has for everyone else. So yeah, definitely working on my small business and hustling on that. And then also working on my creative writing portfolio and prepping all things for LA.
Nice. The West Coast, warmer.
Yes. Definitely.
That's exciting. And then let's have some fun. Let's do, if you could give young Kim 15-year-old Kim some advice on anything, what would you give her?
I think, I don't know, I think I would just tell her to keep following her gut, honestly. I think I've always just had like a really good sense of like intuition and making decisions, and I feel like if I had followed that a little bit younger, then I would, save myself some life lessons.
And tell us if for following the Light Leaks, you on all and any social media platforms.
Yes, so to follow the Light Leaks, it's thelightleaks.com. It's also at @_Light Leaks on Instagram or at the Light Leaks on Twitter. And then my website is kimhoyos.com, and then all my social links are there as well.
Awesome. Yes, follow. She's always doing something, always posting. You are very good at that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you again for coming on to Angelica Any Time and talking with me for a little bit.
Thank you so much for having me.
And a quick update on Kim. She has officially moved from the Garden State to the Golden State, where she's working as a junior production manager for Me Too. And if you haven't heard of them, they are a company based in LA and they cover everything Latinx, pa la cultura. So congrats and best of luck to you, Kim. And stay tuned because Angelica Anytime will continue to do interviews like this and bring them to you, my viewers. And a little teaser for the next one, I'll be speaking to someone who was just in a film that is based on a Broadway show. So I'll see you on the next one. Bye.